G'day mates, and welcome back to Buzz Aldrin's Space Program Manager. We're in Season 3 right now, and today we are going to be heading in for our Ultimate Challenge. We're going to start a new game, and we're going to be doing the GSA campaign. So I've done the USA first. I did a Soviet campaign on hard mode. So today, GSA campaign, I'm going to be starting this one up, and we're going to be doing it on Buzzhard. This is still not a particularly difficult maze, it's quite right around, but you'll find that the game itself is somewhat more difficult once we get in there. So the GSA has been established. A couple of old people, looks like a rocket of some sort. Anyway, welcome to the GSA. We have ourselves a very young Buzz Aldrin. Welcome to GSA Commander. My name is Dr. Buzz Aldrin, and I'm a fighter pilot and engineer specializing in orbital mechanics. The duties in your newly appointed role... Ooh, that was a bit more sensitive than I thought. Duties in your newly appointed role involve managing the space agency by opening programs, hiring employees, allocating resources, and planning and executing missions. Behind me lies the space complex, the place from where all your management activities will take place. I suggest you start by visiting the headquarters in order to open up your first program. I also strongly suggest you start the construction process for the Mission Control Center, the Astronaut Center, and the Vehicle Assembly Building. Please use the magnifying glass button in order to find out the location of each building. And yeah, nothing particularly important there. It was more of a tutorial than anything. Looks like the other two had more of a backstory based on the thing, but I do believe the GSA campaign was the... Yes, thank you. The GSA campaign was the original part of this game when it was originally made, but they, through popular request, they added in the USA and Soviet missions or campaigns separately. Either way, we are in a different area. I never really see this one because I don't really like the GSA as much. It's a mixture between the two, and so we've got access to Soviet missions and we've got access to NASA missions at the same time. But this is a new setup. We're in the middle of somewhere, and it's quite beautiful actually. We'll have to see how this one builds up. I've never actually finished a GSA campaign before. Just have a quick familiarization of ourselves here. We need to go through, actually what I want to check is this headquarters building here. Nope, wrong one. Public Affairs Office, that was the one. Now, it's a little bit different in this one. We have short and long-term objectives. So long-term objective obviously is to land on the moon. It's the same as the other ones, but we've got these little short-term objectives and they can be somewhat frustrating. So you get here prestige points granted on completion. These are little bonus bits of prestige that we can get by fulfilling these things here. Unfortunately, there are also prestige points deducted on failure, and this one here, the Edge of Space, deducted 400 points for failing, and that was that destroyed my previous attempt at recording this. So I went through and got to the end of 4 years from now. Must be the start of would it be 59 or 60? 1, 2, 3. It must be the start of 1959 is the end of the season, so turn 17. And it stuffed me up because I got over the required amount, which is there were 3,100, and then got brought back down 400 points, and that is somewhat frustrating. So I'm going to have to take a different approach. We need to do an orbital satellite, and we need to do the Edge of Space, which I believe is, let's have a quick look here, the Edge of Space, I believe, is going to be space planes. Is the easiest way of doing that. How? Yes, here we go. Test flight, hypersonic, Edge of Space. So I think that we need one of these. Can this one also do Edge of Space? Man in space, man in orbit. This game is somewhat annoying. So this one doesn't do the Edge of Space, so it's pretty much going to have to be the X-15. There's no choice in that matter. So my original, I guess, technique was just doing nothing but satellites, and that allowed me to do, because I think the Sputnik 1, the Sputnik 2, and I think the biosatellite or something else can be loaded on top of the Sputnik booster, and that allows you to get, might have been the Frog Otolith actually, that allows you to get a hell of a lot of prestige quite quickly, but you then get the issue where you don't get the Edge of Space. So I need to figure out a way to do that, because what I'm going to be doing here, this is crewed. Let's just have a quick look at our scientists for a second. I can get out of here. We have a quick look. What we need is we need rocket skill, we need space probe skill, we need crewed spacecraft, and it's going to be 4 separate projects, because no, maybe it's 3 separate projects. Anyway, there's a couple of different projects we're going to have to do. We might be able to get them all, but we're just not going to have enough science time, so there's going to be a bit of a risk here, I think. So I'm going to give this one a shot and figure it out. So to start with, what we're going to need to do is, and of course we need to get astronauts. That is the thing. So it comes down to money, a lot of it. We're going to require astronauts. We're going to require a mission control. We're going to require a vehicle assembly building. And that's all I can afford to upgrade at this point in time. So let's have a quick think about how we're going to approach this. I need to get... Who have I currently got here? So it's always random when you start. This guy is pretty good at space probes, and human-rated rockets will come later. He's okay at rockets, but not spectacular. This guy is terrible at pretty much everything that I need him for early on. He's acceptable, but low. Oh man, this is a terrible, terrible start. This is a terrible... He's our best guy by a long shot. He's very good at learning. He is reasonably expensive, but not good. So... You're good at rockets, I'll keep you. Crewed spacecraft at 40 is possibly acceptable. Let's have a look who we've got here for hire. Okay, you're very good. Oh my god, look at that, 29 gold, 92 mega dollars. This guy is spectacular. Jamari Burchett we're going to get. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. It's not the best way of starting because because it takes them a couple of turns to actually get in and ready and prepared and trained up. But we're going to actually fire... You're fired. Donald Trump style, you're fired. You are... Oh, you're terrible. You're really bad because you're expensive as well. So you're Gonski, bro. You're Gonski. You are also expensive, but you're good at rockets. So I'll keep you for the time being. Man, this is a terrible start. I may even need to restart this one. You're gone as well, so I need 5 more people. You're on for sure. You're expensive and decent. You're... Okay, let's have a look at rocket skill. So you're the best rocket guy we've got. You're expensive though. I might still take you. I'll just take you for now and we can come back to that. I'm going to need a space probe person. You're good at space probes, Hermina Saltzman. And you're also pretty good, Mark Simmons. And then we're going to want a crewed spacecraft. Wow, there's some expensive people here. I need 5 of them. So I think I'll take... You're a tiny little bit cheaper. Eric Gomez, but you're not... Look, I'm going to have to go Jesus or Jesus McGee. Jesus McGee. You're coming on here, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. That'll replace those 5. They're going to be pretty good. They're reasonably expensive. The problem, of course, here is that I've only got 2 scientists for the next 2 seasons, and that may not be enough. Let's have a quick look at what these scientists are good at. Get rid of training guys, and now I've got space probes and rockets. So I'm probably going to start with a... neither of you are good at crewed spacecraft. I'm going to start with a Sputnik program here. I think. If we start, this Sputnik I believe is easier to do. You can go through all the information packs and whatnot, but Sputnik has a lower development cost and it's a lighter thing to actually put up. So we're going to open up this program and you're going to give us the prestige we need to get in here. I can't actually get a rocket just yet because I still have to build that thing. So we're going to R&D these mission components. And I'm just going to put both of you on here. You're both going to go into space probes. You can be moved off into rockets afterwards, but for now, that's where you're going to sit. And I think that's all we're going to do. All we're going to do here, let's turn off that. Actually, let's turn off that. And with that, we're going to end our season and just hope that this is going to be a good start. So Sputnik's gone up well. And nothing interesting has happened at all, although we've built the Mission Control Center. Okay, budget is good, public affairs office or whatever. So we're going to need to get 5 people here as well. Now, I'm just going to briefly... fuck off. Just going to briefly go back here and go over this short-term thing here. So we've got... Our goal name is Chris Kraft. He must have been a historical flight director. I don't know a huge amount about the history of space. Chris Kraft must have been a flight director, and he must have been a very skilled one. So we require a flight director with a minimum of 60% skill average. So that'll be something we need to do. We need to get an orbital satellite. So we'll do a Sputnik or an Explorer or something. And we've got to hit the edge of space. So they're the 3 things we're going to be doing. Any failure of one of them will probably mean we're not going to get enough prestige overall. So if we go in here, what we need, even if they're expensive, we need somebody who has a very good flight director skill. And in this case, it's looking like Michael Davies. He's expensive though, but he does learn really well. She is more expensive, but her skills are lower. So this is the guy we're going to get. We're going to get Michael Davis, and he's going to be our flight director. On top of that, we need a propulsion person, and you are clearly the best for propulsion. You can also do mission operations. I'm going to get you, and we're going to need a trajectory and GNC person. You're cheap. I like you. I like cheap. Cheap speaks to me on a visceral level. We're going to require mission operations. Wow, she's good. Relatively cheap, great learning, good mix of a couple of these odd skills, and propulsion's not too bad, so I can cross-train her if I wanted to. I'm going to take you. I need one more. And at this point, I think someone cheap with high skill, regardless of what they are good at, is what I'm going to get. Jim Power has no skill. He's expensive. Looks like this person here, Fernando Friedman. He's also good at spacecraft systems. So we're taking you. We're going to hire these 5 people, and they're going to form the basis of our main thing here. Okay, I reckon we're ready to mosey on, continue on here. Looks like our scientists are nearly ready. Actually, I think they are ready. That's good, good. We've got some scientists now. We're going to move them in and get them sorted. So let's have a quick look here. We've got our vehicle assembly building, which means I can open. Let's manage our programs. We need... I'm actually going to do... I think the extended mission might be the one to go for here, just because I can get a little bit of extra prestige from it. So you can get... What's the difference here? The difficulty is higher, but it's an extra 250 prestige. May not bother, may just do the regular mission. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it just yet. Either way, we're going to need the Sputnik 1 booster. Now, Thor Able's a pretty good rocket. It can go 600 suborbital, go 120 low Earth orbit, and it can also go transplanetary and translunar injection. Very, very good rocket. Unfortunately, that LEO, the low Earth orbit, is pretty low overall, where Sputnik can lift a hell of a lot more up. And so this booster is great for a range of different things like that. It won't do anything to the moon or beyond, but it will allow us to get a whole bunch of stuff done. Now, what do we got here? The R&D difficulty factor is something to look at. The Thor Able is nearly twice as difficult to develop as the Sputnik. The Sputnik is 21% challenge. So I think that's the one we're going to go for here. We're going to get a Sputnik booster. And we're going to use that as our... Let's go management screen. Actually, I'm going to go into... Oh, fuck, I was just here. Let me think. I'm going to get rid of you. I'm going to get rid of you. Now we're going to start and let's get... Yeah, payload R&D. You are good at rockets and space probes and you're actually very good at rockets. You're our crewed spacecraft persons. We're going to need to get onto that shortly as well. Now, money is beginning to tick down quite rapidly. I need to be very careful here because once we get negative, we'll only have a few launches in us. So what I'm thinking is if I go to manage rocket programs, I'm going to make you onto these, get 2, 3, and then what we're going to need to do is immediately open up the next program because I need to start R&D for it, for the space plane. Now it's 162 per turn to fund, which is somewhat expensive, but it's going to give us a lot of options, as well as, I mean, it's vital. We absolutely have to do it. So we look at the plane itself is the only thing required, so we don't have to develop a rocket for it. Whereas going for the Soviet version is, you can actually put a man in space quite easily. You can get that little goal achieved, but it won't allow us to, it requires an extra rocket and a whole bunch of additional stuff. So what we'll do is we'll stick on Jesus or Jesus, and you can slowly start ticking this one up. It's got a, where is the, it doesn't say the cost of the difficulty of developing. That's difficulty of launching. There's a difficulty somewhere of how hard it is, and it will, most of these early ones are pretty good. We are going to require now 520 remaining. We're going to need a whole bunch of mission control people, which we've got coming in. They should be the right ones. We're going to need these people. Now I'd like to get 3 of them on really soon, because the 3 you can cycle through and you can do most of the things. 5 ultimately is all you ever need, assuming no one dies, and it allows you to launch missions continuously. The problem, of course, is most of these guys are pretty expensive, and we just don't have, and they're going to need training, and we just don't have the money to get them early on. So I'm thinking this guy here is looking like the best one. Thomas Mock will be our dude in space. 47's too much. Looks like Thomas Mock. He's $36 of gold, space bucks. Well, this guy's 30. Mauricio Sangiorgio. Let's have a quick look here. Leadership is better, which is good. Piloting's way better, which I'm liking. EVA's irrelevant early on. Science irrelevant early on. Fitness is always relevant. You got low fitness though. I think for $6, this guy is going to be our pilot. I'm actually going to take in Thomas Mock as well. I'm going to take them both. It's going to be it's an extra 66 gold, which I really don't want to have to afford, and then it's 100, I think, per turn to train them. So 200 combined, which I really don't want to spend as well. But what I can do is go do back-to-back missions, because once they launch a mission, they will be out of it for a little while. They'll be tired and need a season off to recover. So this allows me to do back-to-back launching of my missions as required. Let me just think about this. I think we're going well. Time really is our biggest enemy here. We've got 14 more turns, and we've got effectively nothing up in space, and our profit margin is plummeting very rapidly. So this is all we're going to need to do for now. Okay, Sputnik is going up well. It's going to slow down as it gets closer to the top. This booster is doing quite nicely, although it may lag behind. This guy though, this one is going to be a problem. What I need to do is get the Sputnik done up high, and then switch them all over and just dump them into this as much as possible. Hopefully we can get it in time. Nothing negative there. Okay, these guys are all ready. Now it's going to cost me money to train them. But if you don't train them, their morale will go down over time. So, who was our flight director? This guy here must be our flight director, Michael Davis. I'll have to remember that one. He has the best overall skills, so by training him in the skill that will gain the most will increase his average. And the average of all these skills is what makes up the flight director. The flight director needs to be able to do everything. So if I train him in trajectory and GNC, that'll give him an extra 4-point-something%. So it's that percentage divided by 5 is how much his overall flight director skill is increasing. So it's at 4.5% or something like that. So single training course, and then we'll pick the next skill that needs upgrading. You are also our best propulsion guy, but not by much. You look like our best propulsion. Let's just have a quick look. So you're going to be our mission and operations check. You can do that. You are going to be our... You can't do anything other than those two, really. So you're going to be propulsion. Which means we're going to have ourselves a spacecraft systems guy here. and leaves you to do trajectory and GNC, which is all that's left. Now, you'll notice we're not going to be doing the crew and payloads. I probably should have done that. I think mission operations comes into use earlier. Crew and payloads comes in a little bit later on, so we don't really have too many people who can fill that role just yet, but I'll try and cross-train a couple of them, because we've only got the 5 people. Either way, let's call that everyone is doing something. I think we can continue on to the next season. Okay, Sputnik is shooting up there rapidly. I could probably jump onto Sputnik 2 at some point in the near future. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. This is going to be the real problem. I'll need to start testing that at some point in the future. Looks like everybody is still ready. Let's continue on to the next season immediately. Okay, Sputnik has slowed right down. We're at 71% nearly. You here are at 52.5, and then you're still lagging behind at 34. What I'm probably going to do is pull off anyone who's good at crude and development, whatever it's called, crude craft, off the Sputnik. Just pull these 3 off and then have a reevaluate them. Okay, you 2 are going to stick on that. There, you though are going to go. You're actually better at crude spacecraft than Jesus. So get you 2 continuing to work on that one. Sputnik will slow down a little bit, and we should have these guys doing pretty well. Let's have a quick check at their skills again one more time. You can do crude spacecraft quite well, but I'm inclined to keep you where you are for the time being, just for one more season. I've got a projected increase of 8.2%, whereas if I take him off and put him back, 6.1, so that actually, it's only a couple of percentage points. That gives me 19.5% projected improvement, which is pretty good. I'll be fair, that is pretty good. It'll take us up to 70% in one season, and we can start launching while this Sputnik stuff catches up. I think I'm inclined to do that. So let's go to the next season. Yeah, Sputnik ticking up very slowly now. Yeah, you're getting there. But then this one is racing ahead and catching up to them. So 53, you are now at nearly 60. And you're heading towards 75. That's not bad. Now our astronauts are done from basic training, and I think with that, leadership really is the most important thing. I'm going to train them both in leadership. So I'll just do single courses. Typically I do them continuous training until they reach a certain level, but I just don't have the cash to burn doing that for the time being. So I'll put you on single leadership, maybe piloting, and then fitness. I just need you to be as ready as possible for the upcoming test. Okay, Borgia, you are our trajectory and GNC person, so I'm going to give you another one of those. You are our spacecraft systems dude. You are clearly our propulsion man. Michael Davis is our jack of all trades, so the next one here is 20% increase on that. We'll do him. And our mission operations chick can do this. After that, I think I'll cross-train her into crew and payloads, although she's not too bad at that either. Maybe worthwhile to have a couple of other people cross-trained as well, although getting the highest percentage will allow them to make all the saves required. Alright, end of the season, and here we go. Sputnik 77. Sputnik's basically peaked out here, which is a shame. I really do need to put more people onto it. On the other hand, this is soaring ahead. Really shooting ahead. Looks like it's stagnated a little bit. Not looking good. I think I've had some bad rolls here. Let's just... Oh yeah! So 23.4% for the next 4 seasons. That is spectacular. Would have been great a little bit earlier, but I'll take what I can get at this point because we've got 9 seasons to go. And that may not be enough time to do this. Once these people get out of training, there's 2 more seasons. We'll have 7 seasons remaining, and I need to launch pretty much continuously from then on. So we may not be able to get this in time. Let's have a quick look at our short-term objectives. I need 3125 or greater to get the maximum budget. I will need the maximum budget. That's the thing. Edge of space. So that's 300, 300, and 900 prestige there, which means I need 2200 additional. What am I going to do with 2200? Let me think about this. 2200 prestige. Let's have a look at our programs. This one here, Sputnik, will give us... how do I get information? Well, I wish I could get information out of this thing a little bit easier. Sputnik is... doesn't it say? Sometimes this game gives me the shits. Maybe it's in here. There we go. So this one will give me 1400, which is great. And then if we go back to manage programs, and if we go into the X15, the X15 test flight will give us 250, which is bugger all. Missing what? Cannot be accessed. Spelt incorrectly due to missing goals. Okay, I can look at it here. 600 there, which is, and then that's there. We actually have enough here. We have enough. If we do this, we should get it. We don't need to worry about the Sputnik 2. So just these two missions, Sputnik and then the X15, will be sufficient combined with those missions being accomplished. So once these guys finish training, we should be ready for it. We're going to end the season. It's tight, very, very tight. And you are beginning to slow down, but I think that's good enough. Proceed. Everybody is still going. I'm going to go one more season, and then that's it. You can see they've come back. So you're at 81%. You're at 70, and then you are coming in at 78. I've got no choice in the matter. I really do need to start launching. But you know what? I think this is where we're going to end this episode. This has pretty much been the prep episode. We are G'day Tortuga playing the RimWorld as usual instead of your To End All Wars. Now, what we've got here, we're going to call this episode to an end. This is pretty much the setup episode. Things didn't go as well as I would have hoped, considering it's Buzzhard. I really do need things to fall into place, but we have some fairly good trained dudes here. Be nice to get Michael Davis leveled up a little bit higher, because he's obviously not at 60% just yet. Otherwise, I would have had the mission accomplished thing would have popped up, and you can. Oh wait, it has. Okay, yeah, there you go. 300. So he's leveled up enough. That's great. So I can use him. I was concerned about using him and not training him because I needed to get that 60% average, but we've clearly done that. We must just be there. So we've got some fairly well-trained people. We've got some good scientists now. Took a while to get them, but they are fairly decent. May have set me back a little bit though. And these guys here are fair to moderate. Leadership's not too bad. I can send you up, and I mean, piloting skill is going to be important. Hopefully you survive. Fitness is terrible, but if you die, then you die. Either way, guys, this is the end of the episode. I've been Blxz. Make sure to smash that thumbs up button if you do indeed enjoy this kind of content. We're back onto Buzzhard mode for Buzz Aldrin Space Program Manager. Since it's the first episode, make sure to refer it to your friends and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, guys, I'll see you into episode 2 when we start launching all our missions. Take care, guys, and I'll see you around.